Hello there. In my last video I was explaining how I was going to make one of the hatches open on the Jet Ranger so that I could gain access to the remote glow, the charging jack on off switch and the refueling point. So what I've gotten done up to now is, anyway, as you can see, I've got the hinges fitted. There's the top hinge there secured with small screws, and if we come down, there's the bottom hinge there. Now what I've done is I've actually fitted the hinges before I've cut the hatch out. And the reason why I've done that is quite simple. When I cut the hatch out, I make the cuts, I know that the hatch is going to fit back into the same place exactly. There'll be, you know, I've seen people cut hatches out first, then try and fit the hinges, and they've had a really bad time trying to get it all lined up perfectly so the gap was equal all the way around. But at least by doing it this way, I know that there'll be no problem with refitting the hatch. It'll just be a case of cutting it out, screwing it back on in place. I still need to put the plywood doublers on the inside of the fuselage to give the screws something to bite into, and I know everything will be fine after that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a start and cut this out now. I'll cut it along here and down there. When I get to this point here, I'll remove the hinges and then cut through this section and then bolt it all back together again to let you have a look at it. So I'm going to make a start with that and I'll be back soon. Cheers, bye. Okay, here's the finished hatch. As you can see, it's all cut out, hinges are screwed back on. I've got the plywood doublers on the inside of the door, which I'll show you in a minute. The only thing left to do with the hatch is to fit some sort of securing device here, for the want of a better term. What I think I'll do is I'm going to get one of the Vario UK do a spring-loaded latch, and I think I'll use one of those to keep the hatch securely closed. Opening it up, you can see the doublers on the inside there, just to give the screws something to bite into. Screws are still a bit long at the moment, so I need to trim those down a bit, as are the ones on the inside there. You can see them sticking through a little bit. When I got the hatch cut out and that, I thought I'll trial fit the mechanics back in again just to see what sort of clearance I was going to be, and it's worked out that there's not going to be anywhere near the clearance as what I thought I was going to be. It was going to be impossible to do like the plywood box insert that I did on the BO105. It's just not going to be possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strengthen this area up here, and I think I'll just screw the on-off switch onto here, the remote glow driver, and I can just have the refueling exactly the same principle as what I did on the BO105, where you just pull the hose out, you put your fuel in, and then you just push the hose back through the wood, and that'll keep it all nice and secure, and that'll be fine. So I'm quite pleased with the way that's turned out. As I say, it just needs the latch on, you know, there just to keep the hatch closed. And as you can see, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera there, but the gap, using the hot knife, there's very little material being wasted, so it's a nice, you know, it's a nice close fit as well. So I'm really pleased with that. Looking at the hinges, I thought that the hinges looked a little bit too big. They look a little bit oversized when you compare these hinges to the dummy hinges that come in the Jet Ranger fittings kit. However, these are scale Jet Ranger hinges, but they definitely look a little bit too big. But I'm hoping that by the time I get the fuselage painted and the decals applied, hopefully the hinges will not be too noticeable. They should look okay, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about it now. I've cut the hatch out, I've screwed the hinges into place, so I'm not going to change that now. It'll just stay as it is. Another thing that I've come across that I'm going to change is these the screws that I've got to screw these on. Now what I got some little button head screws to screw the top section down to the main fuselage, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some different doublers on the inside, the plywood doublers, because I've already drilled these ones out to the size that I needed. I'm going to put some more on the inside, and I'm going to use some very small screws to secure this top section down. I think it'll look better than what it will with those the button head screws that I've got. So that's another job to do on the helicopter. The hot knife I was talking about for cutting the hatch out is just basically a 240 volt soldering iron, as you can see here. I took the soldering tip out and adapted the end to be able to insert the craft knife blade, which is held in place with a small nut and bolt. So, you know, anytime I want, I can just loosen the nut and bolt and take the blade out and put the soldering iron tip back in again and just use it as a regular soldering iron. Now, I've been hunting around for one of these for a while now, and somebody on Runrider said you can buy these at Maplin's. Now I had a look on the Maplin's website the other day and I couldn't find these at all. The only reference to hot knives that I could find on the Maplin's site was the replacement blades for the butane gas version of a hot knife. It's like a little, it's a butane gas powered thing. It's, you know, that you light and it heats the blade up, but it was the electrical version that I was looking for. But I mean, that doesn't matter now. I've got the soldering iron, so anytime, you know, I need to do any more cutting out of hatches or anything like that, I'll just use the soldering iron with the blade in again, which it's dead easy to adapt. You know, it took us about 15-20 minutes for to be able to get it, you know, to use it to cut the hatch out. The other thing that I wanted to say when cutting out the hatch, I meant to tell you in the other video, is when you cut when you make the first cut and your blade's gone right through and you've actually got the gap, you've got the cut here, is to go back across it again, because what I found happens, what can happen sometimes is when you make the cut, because the plastic's still quite hot, it's somehow it fuses itself back together again. So when you've made your cut, if you don't go around it again, you find out when you've cut all the way around, it's still glued together. So it's best to go through it twice, and then you know that as soon as you get your last section, it's just going to pop out. But as I say, that's the hatch finished there now, and I'm you know, I'm quite pleased the way that's turned out. So as I say, I'll get the latch for that to enable me to close the hatch properly, and then I'll update with another video when I get that done. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Cheers, bye.